What's up, my people, and welcome to the channel. My name is Diamond, and this is the place where personal finance intersects with the real world to help you achieve your financial goals. And I have a question for you. Should you use Turo to help you pay your car off faster? That's the topic that we're going to dive into in this video, and I'm going to give you some information about Turo and see if we can come together and come to a conclusion on whether or not this is a good or bad idea. And I want your input on this. So don't be afraid to jump down in the comments and let me know what you think. For those of you who don't know what Turo is, Turo, the easiest way to describe it is it's the Airbnb for car rentals.
So you create your listing after you create an account, and you take some photos of your car, you add a description, you put in your address, and you've got a listing that's live on our app. We help you find the right price for your car, and we help you decide where your availability is, and you've got a listing that's up and coming, and you start getting trips that will be booked on your vehicle.
And this year, Turo has become insanely popular. When you combine extra money going in people's pockets, lockdowns, people being able to work from home, a car shortage, not just on the new and used car market, but also hitting the rental markets, you combine all that together with cheap airlines, and you have this situation where there's more people out traveling looking for rental cars than the traditional rental agencies can handle. So the demand is definitely outweighing the supply, which has caused Turo to blow up this year. So in order to pay your car off, you have to come up with some extra money, and that's what Turo is for. It's for you to use one of your assets to go out and use it to create some cash flow. So you rent your car out and you can make some money. Take that money now, you can use that to help pay your car off. But should you do it? Is this a viable option? Is this a good option? Well, let's jump in. The first thing you gotta look at is how much money you can make. So let's say you have just an average, everyday average car, something in the range of $30,000 to $50,000 new. And you jump on a platform and you look and see, man, I can rent my car out for about $40 a day. The first thing most people do is start calculating how much money they can make. Oh, if I can get $40 a day, if I can rent it out for about 20 days out the month, I can make about $1,200. Man, my payment's only like $500, so man, it's about to be, I'm about to come up. I'm gonna definitely put all the extra money on this car and get it paid off. I'm gonna get it paid off twice as fast by renting it on Turo. Whoa, not so fast. I think a lot of people are jumping on this platform, putting their cars on there without fully reading and understanding the terms of service. Because the money you make, you don't make all that money. I mean, Turo is in the middle, and like Apple takes 30% from their developers, Turo is going to make some profit in this transaction as well. So when you look at it, you have to look at the different options, because there is no option where you can put your car on Turo and make 100% of the profits. You have to think about insurance. And with Turo, that's going to be one of the first things you have to select is which insurance plan are you going to be on. And each plan has different features. They cost different amounts. They have different deductibles, and they cover different things. And it's also going to directly affect how much money is put in your pocket. So you could be on a plan that's 60-40, where you make 60% of the profit and 40% goes to Turo. Or you could be on a 75-25 plan, where you get 75% of the money and Turo takes 25%. So that's the first thing you got to understand, is you got to look at which plan you're on and know that the amount that you list your car for, that's not going to be the exact amount that you receive. But nonetheless, you still are making money. So if you can get your car booked and you are renting it out, you're going to be making some money. So there is no doubt that Turo is a viable option to produce some additional revenue that you could use to pay off your car. But is it a good idea? And for that, we got to keep going. We got to dig a little deeper. The next thing I want you to think about when you putting your car on Turo is that you are renting your car to strangers. Now, these are people that Turo has vetted, and they say they have valid licenses, and so that they are legal to drive. But nonetheless, it's strangers. And what you have to think about is when you're putting your car out there and you're going to give it to somebody, a few things come to my mind immediately. The first thing is that when people rent a car, they have a reason to rent the car. So while you may drive your car to work and your car sits in the parking lot all day, or you come home and you don't have nothing to do on the weekend, so your car is sitting in the driveway on the weekend. When you rent that car out, nobody's renting your car just to look at it in their driveway. They're going to put miles on it. So when you're renting your car out, you're going to be racking up more miles than if you were just driving it yourself. And with increased miles comes faster depreciation, comes increased wear and tear, and also increased maintenance. So these are some things that you're going to have to look at, because while you can make money, there's also going to be some expenses that's going to be associated with making that money. Next, you got to think about how people are going to treat your car, because again, they're renting your car. It's just a utility for them. They're most likely not going to treat your car as well as you would treat your car, which means they may step on the gas and have fast accelerations. They may hit the brakes hard and have some hard braking. They may smoke in your car. There could be a lot of things that they would do to your car and in your car that you wouldn't do personally. So that's something to think about as well. And that brings me back to the insurance piece, because when you look at the different plans that they offer, they're going to have deductibles just like any other protection plan. But there's also going to be things that they cover. So some things are going to be just considered normal wear and tear. So let's say you're on the 75/25 plan, which as of this recording in September of 2021, that plan has a $250 deductible. So any damage that's caused that's less than $250 to repair, well, then it's a zero-sum game, and you're not going to put in a claim when your deductible is higher than the actual cost to repair, which means you could have a lot of $100 or $200 repairs that you have to come out of pocket with. An example of this would be someone scratching your rim and you can get it resurfaced for $150. Well, you can't use your Turo insurance to cover that because, again, the cost of the repair. If somebody scratches your car, that's another one that could get you, because according to the plans and their insurances, there are certain criteria that a scratch or a dent has to meet before it's even deemed damage. And if they don't deem it as damage, then it's just considered normal wear and tear. And once again, you can't file an insurance claim on that. Well, if you start getting these type of scratches and dents once or twice a month, this can really start to add up if you're trying to repair every single thing. And if you're not repairing it, then your car is just getting worse and worse and worse as you go on. At this point, you may be thinking, Diamond, you're making this sound like a terrible idea. You must be 100% against renting your cars on Turo. And I gotta say, hold up, that's not what I'm saying here. What I'm doing is I'm laying it out because I want us to look at it from a holistic viewpoint. I don't want us to get caught up in the idea that we can make money and get focused on that shiny object, the green, but not look at all the other things that come with it. So what we're doing here is just laying it out. And at the end of this, I want us to come to a conclusion, and I want to hear your thoughts on this, because I'm not against Turo, and I've actually seen quite a few people who seem to be making good money on it, and I've seen quite a few different business models around Turo. It's something that I've been researching heavy here recently, and something that I may be getting into myself. So I'm not 100% against it. My financial journey has just taught me to not jump at things, but take in all the details, make sure you understand exactly what it is that you're signing yourself up for, so that you can reduce or eliminate the surprises that catch you and cause you to stumble, fall, and end up worse than where you're at. So that's what we're doing in this video. Along those lines, let's talk about your personal insurance that you have on your car and your loan if you're financing this car because you're trying to get it paid off, right? So you have to look at your personal insurance. And this is something that you don't see a lot of people talking about, but when you look at your policy, check it out, read the details, call them up, verify this. But most personal policies on your private automobile, a car that's registered and insured for your personal use, not for your business use, but for personal use, you will find that most of those insurance policies will insure your car if you're doing ride sharing, like Uber, Lyft, or DoorDash. They have that rider that you can add in and pay a few extra dollars and be covered in those scenarios. But what you will also find is that this whole idea of car sharing, where you're literally giving the keys to your car to somebody else and letting them drive off with it, you're gonna find, or at least that I found, that a lot of insurance companies, they won't insure that. And so a lot of people just don't tell their insurance company that they're doing this, but that's something to look at. If your insurance company don't cover you using it as a car sharing service, like renting it out on Turo, then that's grounds for them to terminate or choose not to renew your insurance. So that's something you have to keep in mind. Now you may think, but don't Turo have insurance? I'm covered, right? Well, yes and no. Turo insurance covers the driver when they're renting your car. And if something happens and you've done everything right, you followed the terms of service, and something happens while somebody else is renting your car, that's where Turo insurance kicks in. And then if you're driving your own car and something happens, then you have personal insurance. But here's where it gets a little gray. And this is not legal advice. I'm putting that disclaimer on right now. Go out, talk to your lawyers, talk to your insurance companies, find out the deal. But it is a little gray area that we're running into. Because let's say somebody had a wreck in your car and Turo covered it. Probably fine, right? But what if they deny the claim? Now you have a wrecked car, you have a denied claim with Turo. Can you now use your personal insurance to cover that? Probably not, because do they cover you renting your car out on Turo? And that's where you can get into some issues, especially if this is a expensive car with a loan on it, you owe $30,000, $40,000. The last thing you would want is to have it totaled, and then now you don't have any insurance to repair the car, and now you're just stuck paying $30,000 or $40,000 on a car that you no longer have. So that's where the insurance gets a little sketchy. And there is commercial insurance you can get, but now you're talking about getting a business, a LLC, registering cars in that business name. It's a whole different ball game versus just downloading the app and listing your personal car. Now we get to the answer. Should you rent your car out on Turo to earn some extra money, to then apply that money to your loan to pay your loan off faster? And for me, my personal opinion is there's only one reason that I would do this with my own personal car. And that one reason would be if I was on the verge of having my car repossessed and I couldn't afford the payment anymore, then I would look into renting the car out on Turo to make some extra cash to keep the car from going through repossession. Then I have to deal with the credit and trying to repair it. And, that's a whole different can of worms. I made a whole video on getting your car repoed. It's not a fun time. So if I was facing something like that, then yes. But in general, I would have to say no. And the reason I wouldn't do it, and I'm talking about my personal car, the one that I'm driving, my daily driver. I bought it because it's the car that I like. When we think about everything that was discussed in this video, we're talking about people driving your car, putting miles on it, racking it up, the depreciation going down, the wear and tear that you're going to have, the inevitable dents and scratches that's going to be too small to actually claim through the Turo insurance. When you put all that together on a car, I just wouldn't do it on a car that I enjoy and a car I wanted to keep, because even though I can make some money on it, I don't think by the time I made enough money to pay it off that it would be a car that I even wanted anymore. It's really a used car at that moment. Now, if you watched all this and you're thinking the opposite, which I do want to know your opinion, would you do this? Let me know down in the comment section. Now, if you do want to do this, then I would say a few things. One, make sure that you're emotionally ready to give your keys to somebody and have that car come back with a little wear and tear, a little scratch, a little dent. I would just be ready for that so that if and when it happens, you're not going to lose your gasket. Another thing I would do is make sure that you are covered from your insurance. Make sure that your insurance is going to cover the car just in case something happens with the Turo policy. Because again, you don't want to be caught in the middle between two insurance companies and both of them turning the other cheek on you and leaving you holding the bag. So I would have to make sure I had the right insurance in place. So I would recommend you do that as well. And the last thing I would recommend is that you get some type of tracker and have it installed on your car. Because again, these are vetted strangers that's going out and using your car. So for me, that would just give me a little peace of mind just in case somebody didn't come back on time or they stopped responding. Having some type of tracker installed on the car would definitely be something that I would do before I went off and gave my keys away to a stranger. So there you have it. Those are my personal thoughts on whether you should rent your personal car out on Turo in order to make some extra cash to pay it off early. I hope this video was informative for you. If it was, then give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to the channel because I have a lot more in store for you. Until next time, my name is Diamond. Peace.